Hello everyone, it's DiegoDoom here. Today I'm bringing you another review. Today I'll be reviewing X Plus Toho 30cm series Godzilla 1989 Diamond Reissue. This particular version of Godzilla, also known as Bio-Goji, comes from the 1989 film Godzilla vs. Biollante. To find out more about the history of the film, check out my review of S.H.MonsterArts Biollante. Be sure to check out the original 1989 film Godzilla vs. Biollante. It is absolutely fantastic. X Plus Toho 30cm series Godzilla 1989 Diamond Reissue is another superb release in the Toho 30cm line. Godzilla has a superb sculpt and superb paint applications. Before we can enjoy our Bio-Goji figure, first we have to attach his tail. This time around, Godzilla's tail comes in 3 pieces. To attach the tail, first grab a hairdryer and heat up the main tail body until it's squishy soft. Once the main tail body is nice and squishy soft, insert the end tail piece into the main tail body. Next, heat up Godzilla's underside until it's also squishy soft, and then insert the completed tail into Godzilla's body. Now that we have Godzilla fully assembled, let's take a look at Godzilla himself. When it comes to sculpt and paint apps, Godzilla is superb. Starting from the top, we have the pointed Bio-Goji head sculpt. At the top of the head, we have the very nicely detailed and textured scales. The scales are individually sculpted with a charcoal black paint app. These very nicely detailed scales can be seen throughout the body and in some spots with some slight weathering. The ears stand out and do not get lost amongst the scales. The eyebrows are nice and prominent, adding to Godzilla's menacing look. The eyes have an amber paint app, the irises have a greenish yellow paint app, and the pupils have a black paint app. The snout is very nicely detailed with various scaly creases and folds. Moving down to the mouth, unfortunately my figure has some issues. As you can see, somebody got carried away at the factory and did a bad job on my Godzilla's upper lip. It looks like Godzilla has some bizarre lipstick effect going on. I'm not much of a customizer, so I'll just have to deal with it. Aside from the sloppy upper lip, everything else is fine. Getting away from the sloppy upper lip, we have the teeth. The teeth are individually sculpted into 2 rows with a dirty bone white paint app. The tongue is very nicely detailed with various fleshy creases and folds. The inner mouth and tongue have a nice flesh tone paint app. Moving down, we have the chest with a nice scaly muscular sculpt. Godzilla's pecs and sternum are very prominent with the suit-accurate creases and folds. We can see the very nicely detailed scales continuing with some slight weathering to them. The arms have a nice sculpt with various scaly creases and folds. The claws have a very nice sharp sculpt. The nails have a very nice dirty bone paint app. The legs have a very nicely detailed bulky muscular sculpt. The scales on the legs have the same slight weathering that we saw on the chest. Godzilla's feet have a very nice large detail sculpt. The toenails have a nice smooth sculpt with a dirty bone paint app. Spin around to the back, we have the dorsal fins. Each dorsal fin is individually sculpted, giving them a natural look. Each of the fins have a dirty bone paint app around the edges and a charcoal black paint app at their bases. As we go down the back, the dorsal fins gradually begin to taper off as we reach the tail. The tail has a very nicely detailed long sculpt with the nicely detailed weathered scales continuing on the sides of the tail. Underneath the tail, we can see some slightly smoother scaly details. As a whole, Godzilla is superb if you don't have the sloppy upper lip issue. For me personally, the sloppy paint job on the upper lip kinda hurts this release for me. This figure being a diamond reissue means there is a possibility for paint issues. From what I've seen from other X Plus collectors, this paint issue is not really common, so that means this issue may just be few and far between. Paint issues aside, this figure is truly stunning. X Plus has really done a superb job in fully realizing Bio-Goji. Now, let's take a look at Godzilla's pose. Godzilla is in a walking pose and I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Godzilla is in the 30cm scale, standing roughly 12 inches tall and 18.5 inches head to tail. Godzilla definitely has a nice shelf presence, but he does take up quite a bit of shelf space because of his longer tail. A cool feature this figure has is the fact that we have an articulated jaw, which can enhance Godzilla's pose a bit. The jaw does not seem to be able to close completely. I would advise not to force the jaw all the way shut, or else you could mess up Godzilla's teeth. I think Godzilla's pose looks best from side angles versus the front. Looking at him head on, I think he looks like he's about to fall over versus walk forward. Now, Let's do some size comparisons. To conclude the review, X Plus Toho 30cm series Godzilla 1989 Diamond Reissue is another superb release in the Toho 30cm line. Godzilla has a superb sculpt and superb paint applications. This figure is definitely very nice, very neat, and very cool. I absolutely recommend picking up this figure. Be sure to check out the original 1989 film Godzilla vs. Biollante. It is absolutely fantastic. This has been another review by DiegoDoom. Thank you very much for watching, and please stay tuned for more figure reviews. Check out the Facebook fan page and also follow me on Instagram. Like, comment, and subscribe.